The bottle spun like a roulette wheel of regret, landing on Hunter Kane's smug grin across the circle of half-drunk college dropouts and old high school ghosts. Noah's heart slammed against his ribs as the room's laughter died into expectant silence, the dare hanging in the air like smoke from a dying fire. "Kiss the person to your left," someone slurred, and when Noah's eyes locked on Hunter's, those same hazel eyes that had once pinned him down in locker room taunts, time cracked open, spilling years of buried rage and something sharper, something that tasted like betrayal before their lips even met. Noah Harlan had always known Seattle's rain was a thief, stealing colors from the world and leaving everything in grays that mirrored the ache in his chest. But that night in the cramped loft apartment overlooking Elliott Bay, the downpour outside felt like an accomplice, drumming against the windows as if urging him to dive into the mess he'd spent a decade avoiding. The party was one of those reluctant reunions, thrown by mutual friends who'd scattered after graduation like leaves in a Puget Sound gale. People like Mia, the barista with dreams of screenwriting, and Jax, the tattoo artist who'd inked half the regrets in town. Noah had shown up because saying no felt like admitting defeat, and at 25, he was tired of losing to his own history. He nursed a whiskey neat in the corner, the burn grounding him as laughter echoed off exposed brick walls. The loft smelled of craft beer and weed, fairy lights strung like fragile halos over mismatched furniture. Noah's dark jeans and faded flannel shirt blended him into the shadows, his green eyes scanning the room with the wariness of someone who'd learned early that crowds hid knives. High school in nearby Bellevue had been a battlefield. Noah, the quiet kid with a sketchbook full of half-drawn faces and unspoken poems, versus Hunter Kane, the golden boy quarterback whose fists and barbs had carved Noah's insecurities into scar tissue. Hunter hadn't changed much. Still broad-shouldered, with that tousled blonde hair and a jawline that could cut glass, he lounged on the worn leather couch like he owned the place. His laugh boomed over the music, some indie playlist crooning about lost loves, and women gravitated toward him, drawn to the easy charm that masked the cruelty Noah remembered all too well. Lockers slammed shut on Noah's fingers. Whispers in the halls. "Fag," spat like venom. The time Hunter had shoved him into the mud after practice, the whole team circling like wolves, their jeers echoing in Noah's nightmares even now. Yet here they were, in the same circle, the bottle game, a stupid nostalgia trip that Mia had insisted on. "Truth or dare," she'd said, her eyes sparkling with mischief. "Come on, it's harmless fun." Noah had chosen dare every time, dodging truths that might crack him open, until the bottle betrayed him. "Kiss the person to your left." The words from Jax landed like a punch. Noah's left was Hunter, their knees brushing in the tight circle. The room held its breath, a mix of shock and thrill rippling through the group. Hunter's hazel eyes met Noah's, and for a split second, Noah saw something flicker there. Not the old malice but curiosity, laced with a hunger that made Noah's stomach twist. He could refuse, walk out into the rain and let the night swallow him whole. But the whiskey whispered defiance, and the weight of all those unspoken years pressed down. Noah leaned in, his hand trembling as it cupped Hunter's neck, fingers threading into sun-warmed hair that smelled faintly of salt and pine. Hunter didn't pull away. Their lips met, soft at first, a tentative brush that ignited like dry tinder. Then Hunter's hand fisted in Noah's shirt, pulling him closer, deepening the kiss into something electric, tongues tangling in a storm of heat and surprise. The room erupted when they broke apart, whoops and claps shattering the moment. Noah's cheeks burned, his pulse thundering as he wiped his mouth, tasting Hunter on his skin. Hunter just smirked, leaning back with that infuriating cockiness. "Not bad, Harlan. Didn't know you had it in you." Noah fled to the balcony 10 minutes later, the cool mist kissing his flushed face. Seattle sprawled below, ferries cutting through the bay like ghosts, the Space Needle a lonely sentinel in the distance. He lit a cigarette, the flame flickering in the wind, and exhaled smoke that curled like unanswered questions. What the hell had just happened? That kiss wasn't a dare. It was a detonation blasting open wounds he'd thought scarred over. Footsteps behind him. Noah didn't turn. "Go away, Kane." Hunter's voice was low, stripped of its usual bravado. "You gonna pretend that didn't happen?" Noah spun, the cigarette forgotten between his fingers. Hunter stood there, hands in his pockets, the porch light casting shadows that softened the hard lines of his face. Up close, Noah noticed the faint scar above his eyebrow, from that championship game senior year, the one where Hunter had taken a hit and still thrown the winning pass. It was a game, Noah spat. Nothing more. Was it? Hunter stepped closer, the air between them thickening. Rain pattered on the awning above, a rhythmic underscore to the tension. Because I've been thinking about you, Noah. Not like before. Like this. Noah's laugh was bitter, sharp as shattered glass. This? You mean the part where you finally get to mess with me again? Save it. But Hunter didn't back down. His hand reached out, brushing Noah's arm, and the touch sent a jolt straight to Noah's core. A traitorous spark that made his breath hitch. I was an asshole. I know that. But that kiss. It felt real. The door slid open behind them, Mia's voice cutting through. Everything okay out here? Her eyes darted between them, sensing the undercurrent. Fine, Noah muttered, stubbing out his cigarette. He pushed past Hunter, the ghost of that touch lingering like a brand. The rest of the night blurred into awkward small talk and forced smiles. Noah left early, hailing a cab through the downpour, the city lights streaking like tears on the windows. Back in his tiny apartment in Capitol Hill, walls lined with canvases of stormy seascapes and half-finished portraits, he stripped down and stood under the shower scalding spray, trying to wash away the taste of Hunter's mouth, but it clung stubborn as regret. Sleep came fitful, dreams tangled with memories. Hunter's laugh in the cafeteria, the crush of bodies in the hallway, the secret ache Noah had buried under layers of denial. He'd known he was gay since 14, fumbling through crushes on boys who never looked back. Hunter had been the opposite. A straight-arrow jock with cheerleader girlfriends and a future mapped out in football scholarships. Their worlds shouldn't collide, not like this. Morning brought coffee black as his mood and a text from an unknown number. Hey, it's Hunter. Got your digits from Mia. That kiss last night? We need to talk. Noah stared at the screen, thumb hovering over delete. Instead he typed back. Nothing to say. The reply came instant. Bullshit. Meet me at Pike Place? Noon. He shouldn't go. But curiosity or something darker, hungrier, pulled him out the door. Pike Place Market buzzed with midday chaos. Fishmongers hurling salmon through the air, street musicians strumming folk tunes under the shadow of the public market center. Noah wove through the crowds, his hoodie zipped against the chill, heart pounding with a mix of dread and anticipation. He spotted Hunter at a corner stall, leaning against the counter with a paper cup of chowder, his leather jacket slung over one shoulder like he belonged in some indie flick. You came, Hunter said, surprise softening his grin. Against my better judgment. Noah shoved his hands in his pockets, eyes on the bay beyond, where gulls wheeled against slate-gray skies. Hunter handed him a cup. Truce? Seafood fixes everything. They ate in silence at first, the steam rising like unspoken confessions. Tourists milled around, snapping photos of the flower stands bursting with tulips, vibrant reds and yellows defying the gloom. Noah stole glances at Hunter, the way his throat worked when he swallowed, the faint stubble shadowing his jaw. It was disorienting seeing the bully recast as, what? A man? A possibility? So, Hunter started, setting his cup down. Last night. That wasn't just the booze talking. Noah's spoon clattered against the cardboard. What do you want, Hunter? Absolution? Because you're not getting it. Hunter's jaw tightened, hazel eyes darkening. I want to apologize. Properly. For everything. The shit I put you through. It haunts me. After graduation I got into some dark places. Lost the scholarship, blew out my knee. Realized I was chasing the wrong high. Noah's chest ached, old wounds throbbing. And now? What, you wake up one day and decide to play hero? No. Hunter leaned in, voice dropping. I wake up remembering your mouth on mine. And it scares the hell out of me, Noah. Because maybe I've been lying to myself longer than you know. The admission hung there, raw and unfiltered. Noah's pulse raced, the market's hum fading to a distant roar. He wanted to bolt, to drown this pull in the anonymity of the crowd. But Hunter's gaze held him, vulnerable in a way Noah had never seen. stripped of armor, just a guy from the suburbs grappling with his own shadows. They walked after that, aimless along the waterfront, the Olympic mountains looming like silent judges across the Sound. Hunter talked about his dead-end job at a gym in Ballard, coaching kids who reminded him of his younger self, about the girlfriend he'd broken up with last month, the one who'd called him out on his wandering eyes. "I thought I was straight," he confessed, kicking a pebble into the water. "But seeing you last night, it clicked, like pieces falling into place." Noah stopped, the wind whipping his hair. "You don't get to rewrite history, Hunter. You broke me. And now you think a kiss erases that?" Hunter's face crumpled just for a second, before resolve hardened it. "It doesn't. But it could be a start. Let me prove it." Noah turned away, throat tight. The rain started again, light at first, then steady, soaking through his clothes. He didn't know if it was the weather or the weight of Hunter's words, but something inside him cracked. A tiny fissure letting in light. That night, alone with a sketchpad, Noah drew Hunter from memory. Not the monster of his past, but the man in the rain, eyes pleading for redemption. The lines blurred with pencil smudges, much like the boundaries he'd sworn never to cross. Days turned to a tentative rhythm. Texts evolved from awkward check-ins to late-night confessions. Hunter sharing playlists of brooding alt-rock, Noah firing back poetry scraps about fractured skies. They met for coffee at a hole-in-the-wall in Fremont, the troll sculpture under the bridge a whimsical guardian to their guarded talks. Hunter's touches lingered. A hand on Noah's back guiding him through doors, fingers brushing knuckles over shared mugs. Each contact was a spark, igniting nerves Noah had long numbed. But doubt not. At work, a graphic design gig for a local ad agency. Noah's focus splintered, sketches veering into abstract swirls of hazel and gold. His roommate Lena, a sharp-tongued photographer with a nose for drama, cornered him one evening over takeout pad thai. "Spill. You've got that lovesick puppy vibe, and it's not from binging rom-coms." Noah deflected with a laugh, but her eyes narrowed. "It's him, isn't it? The one from the party. Hunter." The name on her lips made it real, inescapable. "It's complicated. Complicated is code for, I'm scared shitless." She squeezed his hand. "Just don't let fear win, Noah. You fought too hard to get here." Her words echoed as he lay awake, staring at the ceiling fan's lazy spin. Fear had been his constant companion, fear of rejection, of the world's sharp edges. But Hunter's persistence chipped at it, revealing a hunger Noah had starved for years. Their first real date, if it could be called that, was unplanned, born of a rainy Saturday when Seattle's streets turned to rivers. Hunter showed up at Noah's door with a six-pack and a six-pack of stories, his damp jacket dripping on the welcome mat. Figured we'd order pizza, watch the game. Or not. Whatever. They ended up on the couch, feet tangled under a throw blanket, the TV flickering with a Mariners doubleheader neither watched. Conversation flowed easy, laced with laughter that felt foreign in Noah's throat. Hunter's knee pressed against his, warm and insistent, and when the credits rolled on a forgotten inning, Hunter turned, cupping Noah's face with hands rough from weights and work. This kiss was no dare. It was deliberate, slow-burning, Hunter's lips mapping Noah's like uncharted territory. Noah melted into it, hands roaming the hard plains of Hunter's chest, feeling the heartbeat that matched his own frantic rhythm. They broke apart breathless, foreheads touching, the room humming with possibility. "I meant what I said," Hunter murmured. "I'm in this. All the way." Noah searched his eyes, hunting for lies, but found only earnest heat. "Prove it," he whispered, and Hunter did, with touches that spoke louder than words. Weeks blurred into a secret summer, stolen moments amid the city's endless drizzle. They hiked Discovery Park at dawn, fog-shrouded trails where Hunter's hand in Noah's felt like defiance against the world. Evenings at Hunter's place in Queen Anne, a converted attic with views of the skyline, where they'd cook haphazard meals, chili bubbling on the stove while vinyl spun tales of heartbreak and hope. Hunter opened up about his family. A dad who'd coached him into the ground, a mom lost to cancer when he was 16, leaving him adrift in a sea of expectations. Noah shared too, halting at first, his mom's quiet support after he came out at 17, the dad who'd walked out years before, the art that became his armor. In Hunter's arms, vulnerabilities felt less like weaknesses, more like shared maps to hidden strengths. But shadows lingered. Whispers from old friends at a bar in Belltown. Hunter's going straight edge now. With you. Mia pulled Noah aside one night, her voice laced with concern. He's got baggage, Noah. And not the fun kind. Noah brushed it off, but doubt seeded. Then came the night at a dive in Pioneer Square. Pool cues clacking like accusations. Hunter's ex, Riley, a lithe brunette with a laugh like shattered ice, sauntered in, her arm looped through a new guise. Her eyes locked on Hunter, then Noah, narrowing to slits. Slumming it, Kane? She sneered, loud enough for the room to hear. Hunter's face went stone cold. Not now, Riley. She laughed, venomous. Oh, please. We both know you're just experimenting. He'll get bored like you did with me. The words landed like shrapnel. Noah's stomach plummeted, the room spinning. He slipped out the back into the alley's reek of garbage and rain, gulping air that tasted of betrayal. Hunter followed, grabbing his arm. Noah, wait. She's full of shit. Is she? Noah whirled, tears hot on his cheeks. Tell me this is real. Tell me you're not just chasing a thrill. Hunter pulled him close, rain mingling with their breaths. It's real. You're real. I've never felt this before. Not with her, not with anyone. They kissed in the downpour, desperate and devouring, water sluicing over them like absolution. But Riley's barb festered, a crack in their fragile foundation. As autumn crept in, leaves turning the parks to fire, tension simmered. Hunter threw himself into coaching, coming home late with excuses that rang hollow. Noah's design suffered, clients complaining of distracted vibes. One night, scrolling Hunter's phone while he showered, trust eroding like coastline, Noah found text from Riley. Miss you. Come back to what's real. His world tilted. Confrontation exploded in Hunter's kitchen. Words flying like knives. You're talking to her? After everything. Hunter's face paled. It's nothing. She's reaching out, that's all. Bullshit. Noah's voice broke. You're scared. Of this. Of me. Hunter reached for him, but Noah recoiled. I love you, Hunter said, the words tumbling out raw. God, Noah, I love you. The confession hung, a lifeline or a lie. Noah fled to his apartment, barricading the door against the ache. Days passed in radio silence, Seattle's gray skies mirroring his isolation. Lena dragged him to a gallery opening in Soto, art pulsing with color he couldn't feel. There, amid strokes of passion and pain, he sketched feverishly on a napkin Hunter's face, fractured and fierce. A knock shattered the quiet that Friday. Hunter, soaked from the storm, eyes red-rimmed. Don't shut me out. Please. They talked till dawn, truth spilling like the rain outside. Hunter admitted the fear. The whispers in his head from a town that prized conformity. The ex who embodied safe. But you, he said, voice cracking. You're home. The kind I never knew I needed. Noah forgave, tentative, their bodies finding solace in tangled sheets. But trust was a slow rebuild, brick by painful brick. Winter gripped the city, Christmas lights twinkling like hesitant promises. They hosted a small gathering, Lena, Mia, Jax, laughter thawing the chill. Hunter's hand on Noah's thigh under the table anchored him. A silent vow. Yet fate twisted. A call from Hunter's dad, the old coach in Bellevue, summoning him home for a family crisis. His sister, pregnant and alone, needing support. Hunter went, promising it'd be quick. Days stretched to a week, texts growing sparse. Noah paced his apartment, sketches piling like unanswered prayers. When Hunter returned, changed, eyes haunted, shoulders slumped, the truth unraveled over cold coffee. Dad found out. About us. He said things. Called it a phase, a weakness. Noah's heart clenched. And you? What do you say? Hunter's gaze met his fierce. I say fuck him. I say I choose you. But the damage lingered, a specter in their quiet moments. Arguments flared. Over Hunter's hesitance to go public. Over Noah's insistence on authenticity. I can't hide, Noah pleaded one night, snow blanketing the streets below. Not anymore. The breaking point came at a New Year's party in a loft near Gasworks Park. Fireworks blooming over the lake like fleeting hopes. Hunter drank too much, old friends circling with jabs disguised as jokes. Still playing both sides, Kane? One slurred. Noah overheard from the kitchen, glass shattering in his grip. He stormed out into the biting cold, Lake Union a black mirror reflecting his fury. Hunter caught up, breathless. Noah, stop. It's not. It's everything. Noah whirled, tears freezing on his lashes. You let them. You let me feel like a secret. Hunter's face crumpled, the mask shattering. I'm trying. God, I'm trying. But it's tearing me apart. Then let it. The words escaped, a blade to his own heart. If you can't stand in the light with me, walk away. Silence stretched, broken only by distant cheers. Hunter stepped forward, cupping Noah's face. I don't want to walk. I want to fight. For us. Their kiss was salt and fire. A vow forged in vulnerability. As midnight struck, explosions painting the sky, Noah realized love wasn't absence of fear. It was choosing each other through it. Spring thawed the city, cherry blossoms dusting Queen and Hill like confetti from a second chance. They moved in together, Hunter's attic becoming theirs. Walls adorned with Noah's art, Hunter's weights in the corner like sentinels of strength. Public displays came slow. Hands held at markets, a chaste kiss at a Mariners game that drew stares but no storms. Challenges persisted, Hunter's family a distant frost, Riley's occasional barbs via mutual friends. But they built rituals. Sunday hikes in the Cascades where evergreens whispered resilience. Midnight drives along the coast, windows down to taste the salt of freedom. One evening, as dusk bled purple over the sound, Hunter dropped to one knee on their balcony, not with a ring but a sketchbook. Inside, his clumsy drawings. Their first kiss, rainy walks, tangled mornings. Marry me, he said, voice steady. Not today, not tomorrow. But when we're ready, be my forever. Noah pulled him up, their embrace a harbor against the gathering dark. Yes, 1,000 times. In the years that followed, scars faded but never vanished, reminders of paths forged through fire. Noah's art bloomed, galleries in Soto showcasing pieces born of their story. Lovers in rain, hands clasped against tempests. Hunter coached openly, a rainbow pin on his lanyard, a quiet rebellion. They learned compassion in the quiet spaces, forgiving not just each other, but the boys they'd been, trapped in cages of expectation. Freedom wasn't erasure. It was claiming the light, unapologetic and whole. And in Seattle's eternal drizzle, they found their sun.